Hunting a 200-pound walrus is no small job. In the cold Arctic, it takes skill, patience, and knowing the land well. This hunt is a careful challenge, testing the hunters against one of the biggest animals they will ever face. I experience this challenge firsthand as the cold hits me like a wall when I step out of the small village hut. It's still dark, barely 5 a.m., and my breath freezes instantly in front of my face. Kovic, our lead hunter, nods at me silently as he checks the dog sled one last time. I'm joining a team of 6 Inuit hunters today, and we're after something massive, a walrus that could weigh over 4,200 pounds. That's heavier than my first car. First time hunting walrus? Asks Arput, the youngest hunter, as he hands me an extra layer of fur clothing. You picked the coldest day of the month. His eyes crinkle with amusement. Don't worry, if you freeze, we'll just use you as walrus bait. The other hunters chuckle quietly. We set off while stars still blanket the sky, the sled dogs pulling us across the vast white emptiness. I check my watch. We've been traveling for 4 hours straight and the village is long out of sight. Kovic tells me that walrus hunts often require journeys of 50 miles or more across the ice. I ask how long we'll be gone. Maybe 3 days, maybe 5, he says casually, as if describing a trip to the grocery store. The sun finally peaks over the horizon, casting long blue shadows across the ice. Kovic suddenly raises his hand, and everyone stops. He points to something I can barely see, a slight disruption in the perfect whiteness ahead. I squint but see nothing special. Fresh walrus trail, explains Nanook, the elder of our group. See how the ice is scratched there? He shows me marks that look like someone dragged a heavy bag across the snow. Walrus use tusks to pull themselves across ice. This one is big. I learned something surprising. These trails, as obvious as they seem once pointed out, can completely disappear in just 3 hours if a storm blows through. The Arctic is constantly erasing and rewriting itself. No wonder the hunters left so early and moved with such urgency. We continue following the trail, which leads us toward what Kovic calls breathing holes, areas where walruses break through thinner ice to come up for air. The hunters read the ice like I might read a newspaper, pointing out subtle signs I would have missed completely. A small area of disturbed snow, a patch of slightly different coloured ice, the barely perceptible tracks of fins. Look at size of these marks, Nanook shows me, putting his hand next to an impression in the snow. His hand looks tiny in comparison. This walrus might be older male, maybe 30 years, very smart, very dangerous. Our progress slows as we cross a section of uncertain ice. I watch in amazement as Kovic tests each area before committing the sled to it, using a special ice testing tool. We're forced to take a 3-mile detour around one particularly thin section, adding an hour to our journey. By midday, we'd travelled almost 40 miles from the village. The dogs are tired but still alert. Suddenly, Kovic stops again, and everyone grows very quiet. He points to fresh tracks, massive impressions in the snow, some nearly 2 feet wide where the creature dragged its enormous body. Good thing we're not hunting mice, whispers Aput with a grin. Out here, we'd never spot one. I smile despite my nervousness. The tracks are incredibly fresh, made within the last 4 hours, according to Nanook. The hunters move with renewed purpose now, securing gear and checking weapons. Some carry modern rifles alongside traditional harpoons, a blend of ancient knowledge and contemporary tools. Kovic motions for me to stay close as the group transforms before my eyes. Their postures change, movements become slower, more deliberate. They're no longer travelers, they're hunters now. We're close, whispers Kovic. Now comes the hard part. We must get near without being seen. He points to a distant ice ridge. Walrus hears better than most people think, even on land. The hunters begin preparing for their stealthy approach, and I realize the real challenge of this hunt is just beginning. I lay flat on my stomach, pressing my body against the snow. The ice beneath me is cold enough to burn through my layers, but I dare not move. 20 yards ahead, the hunters have frozen in place. 100 yards beyond lies our target, a massive bull walrus surrounded by 3 females, all lounging on an ice floe like they're at some exclusive Arctic beach club. The big male even has his tusks crossed behind his head like he's waiting for someone to bring him a fish cocktail. Now, we must be like ghosts, Nanook whispers. Walrus eyes not so good, but ears. He points to his own ear and nods seriously. If walruses had smartphones, they'd never need earbuds, Kovic adds with a straight face. It takes me a moment to realize he's joking. And if I get any colder lying on this ice, you'll need to chisel me off, I whisper back. The hunters silently shake with laughter. Despite their blubbery appearance, walruses have incredibly sensitive hearing. They can detect sounds underwater from over a mile away, and even on land, their hearing puts human ears to shame. One careless move and our hunt would be over before it began. The hunters demonstrate 3 distinct techniques for approaching these alert giants. First, using natural ice formations as cover. Kovic points out ridges and bumps in the seemingly flat landscape. Ice never flat, he explains. Always has small hills. We use them. He plots a path that zigzags between these natural shields. Like playing hide and seek, but if you lose, something with fangs finds you instead of your friends. Next comes the art of the ice crawl itself, Aput demonstrates, spreading his weight across a wider area by lying completely flat. He pushes forward using only his elbows and toes, moving inch by inch. Like dating, he jokes quietly. Slow approach is best approach. Rush in too fast and... He makes a splashing motion with his hand. The other hunters suppress their chuckles. Also like dating, smell is important. No perfume today. Finally, they reveal perhaps their most clever technique: timing movements with natural sounds. When a gust of wind picks up, causing the ice to creak, the hunters seize the opportunity to cover ground quickly. I try to follow their example, but my bulky clothing catches on the rough ice with every movement. You move like drunk seal at mating season, Aput whispers with a grin. Stay here, watch masters work. I've been called many things, but drunk seal is new, I whisper back, trying to adjust my position without making noise. Though I did once dance like one at my cousin's wedding. The temperature has dropped further, and my fingers have gone numb. I watch as the hunters continue their patient approach, inch by painful inch. There's an art to this hunt that goes beyond skill. It's patience incarnate. Suddenly, one of the walruses raises its head and seems to look directly at us. Everyone freezes. I hold my breath until my lungs burn. I wonder if this is how statues feel all day. If so, they deserve more respect. Eventually, the walrus lowers its head, apparently satisfied there's no threat. As the hunters close half the distance to their prey, I notice a change in their demeanor. A new intensity fills the air. Kovic makes a subtle hand signal I haven't seen before, and the others respond by spreading out slightly. Nanook catches my eye and holds up 3 fingers, then 2, then 1. The countdown is on. We're getting closer to the massive creature, and I can feel my heart pounding so loud, I wonder if the walrus can hear it. The hunters are preparing for something, and whatever comes next, I know it will require every bit of skill they possess. Kovic motions me closer as the hunters gather in a tight circle behind a small ice ridge. We're now just 70 yards from the walrus, close enough that I can hear their occasional grunts and snorts. The massive bull walrus must weigh at least 4,200 pounds, its tusks gleaming like polished ivory in the afternoon sun. The hunters speak in hushed tones as they check their weapons. This isn't like picking a gun in a video game where you simply click on whatever has the highest damage stats. Out here, choosing the wrong weapon could mean serious injury or worse. Last summer, I struggled for 20 minutes to reel in a 5-pound trout that nearly pulled me into the lake. That fish should have been wearing a cape and had a big S on its chest. Now, watching these hunters prepare to take down a creature that weighs as much as a mid-size car, I feel a new appreciation for their skills. First, we must understand walrus, Nanook explains quietly. He traces a rough outline of the animal in the snow with his finger. Skin very thick here, he points to the back, up to 3 inches. Even small bullets bounce off sometimes. This surprised me. Despite their blubbery appearance, walruses have incredibly tough hides, especially on their backs and shoulders. The thickest parts can indeed stop smaller caliber bullets, which is why weapon selection is crucial. Nanook points to his traditional harpoon first. The shaft is made from driftwood, polished smooth from years of handling. The head is a marvel of engineering, a detachable metal point connected to a strong line. This first, he says, harpoon bites deep, holds fast, cannot pull out easily. Unlike movie depictions, modern Inuit hunters often use a combination of traditional and contemporary tools. I watch as Kovic checks his rifle, a weathered but well-maintained bolt-action model. After harpoon holds walrus, then rifle for quick clean kill, he explains. Here. He touches his temple and then his chest. Brain or heart, nothing else guaranteed. Each hunter carries a specific role and weapon in this carefully coordinated effort. The lead harpooner has the most dangerous job. He must get closest to deliver the first strike. 2 hunters carry rifles for the follow-up shots. Another manages the harpoon line, which must be quickly secured once the animal is struck. The youngest hunter shows me a set of carved bone hooks. For pulling animal onto solid ice, he explains. Skin too slippery for hands alone. Where I come from, I whisper, the most dangerous thing I hunt is a good parking spot at the shopping mall. The hunters smile, but their eyes remain serious. Maybe you should use harpoon at mall next time, Arput suggests. Make other shoppers give you respect. Nanook shows me his pocket knife, a simple folding blade that looks almost comically small compared to the task ahead. Most important tool sometimes, he says. If line tangles around leg when walrus dives, must cut free in seconds or be pulled under ice. This sobering reminder makes me swallow hard. In all the excitement, I'd almost forgotten the extreme danger these hunters face. Walruses may look slow and cumbersome on ice, but they become lightning fast in water. A startled or wounded animal could easily drag a person under the ice, where water temperatures hover just above freezing. Survival time measured in minutes, not hours. The hunters double-check every piece of equipment with methodical care. Each harpoon line is tested, each rifle action cycled silently. The preparation reminds me of surgeons before an operation, except their patient will be fighting back with all its strength. When walrus charges, Kovic says, catching my nervous glance, it can reach 20 miles per hour on ice, faster than you can run, especially in these. He taps my heavy boots. Most people think they slow on land. Big mistake. The wind shifts slightly, and Nanook raises his hand for silence. The walruses haven't detected us yet, but we're approaching the moment of truth. The hunters make final adjustments to their weapons, and I feel the atmosphere change, like the stillness before a storm. Kovic gives a final check to his harpoon, testing the point with his thumb. He nods, satisfied with its sharpness. The others take their positions, spreading out in a practiced formation. Whatever happens next will happen quickly, and I wonder if my camera shutter will be fast enough to capture the first strike. The moment arrives without warning. The lead hunter suddenly transforms from a patient ice crawler into a swift predator, covering 20 yards in a silent rush before the walruses can fully react. He moves so quickly I'm surprised his pants can keep up, I think, fumbling with my camera. The harpoon flies through the air in a perfect arc, striking the walrus precisely in the chest area. This spot is crucial. Walrus skin on the back can be up to 3 inches thick and stop small caliber bullets, but the chest offers better penetration. Never aim for the back, Nanook had explained earlier. Harpoon bounce off like a tourist without a VIP pass. The walrus bellows in pain and anger as the harpoon connects. The other walruses panic, sliding toward the water's edge. That walrus doesn't sound happy about our dinner invitation, I mutter. 1-star review on Walrus Yelp coming our way. The detachable harpoon head remains embedded in the animal's flesh as the line plays out rapidly. 2 hunters grab the rope, bracing their feet against the ice. Line is lifeline, Kovic says. No line, no walrus. A third hunter quickly secures the line around an ice stake driven deep into the surface. I learn that a wounded walrus can drag sleds weighing over 400 pounds across ice if not properly anchored. The walrus suddenly charges back toward us instead of escaping to water. This is the most dangerous moment. Those tusks are nature's version of a Swiss army knife, except both tools are just stab. Maybe he wants to take our photo too, the youngest hunter shouts. Say blubber. The lead hunter tracks the charging animal with his rifle but doesn't fire. Not yet. The others maintain tension on the line, gradually tiring the massive creature. The walrus makes another lunge, missing a hunter by inches. This deadly dance continues for several minutes until the animal begins to tire. The hunters exchange quick glances and shift positions. Kovic reaches for something at his belt, while those deadly tusks sweep across the ice. Whatever happens next will require split-second timing and nerves of steel. A wounded walrus is like an angry moving truck with two spears attached to the front. The hunters now face their next challenge, holding this 4,200-pound beast on the ice and preventing it from escaping to the water. 3 hunters quickly fan out, grabbing sections of the thick rope attached to the embedded harpoon. Anchor! Anchor! Kovic shouts over the walrus's angry bellows. The youngest hunter drives a metal stake deep into the ice with 3 powerful blows. The stake has a curved hook at the top, specially designed for holding the harpoon line. Rope is like mother-in-law, Nanook grunts as he wraps the line around the stake. Always holds tight, never lets go. The others laugh despite the tension. I watch in amazement as the walrus pulls against the secured line. The ice beneath the stake groans but holds. The animal's strength is astonishing. Each pull seems powerful enough to drag a small car. If walrus reaches water, Upput explains between breaths, fight becomes much harder. In water, walrus is king. The line suddenly goes slack. The walrus has changed tactics. Instead of pulling away, it's charging directly toward the hunters. 2,000 tons of angry blubber racing across the ice is a terrifying sight. In a flash, 2 hunters throw additional harpoon lines, creating what Nanook later explains is a triangulation system. With lines secured at different angles, the animal's movement becomes restricted. One line breaks, others hold, he says. Never trust just one. The second and third lines are quickly secured to additional ice stakes. Within minutes, the animal finds itself in a web of restraints, each pull meeting solid resistance. The walrus slams its massive body against the ice in frustration. Its tusks, each at least 2 feet long, slash at the air as it tries to reach its tormentors. He's angrier than my uncle when someone changes the channel during football, I whisper to Upput. He grins despite the danger. The hunters begin adjusting the tension on each line, creating a system where the walrus tires itself out with every movement. Must let walrus fight rope, not us, Kovic explains. Man cannot beat walrus in strength contest. And he's not exaggerating. A fact that amazes me. Walruses can pull objects weighing over 400 pounds across ice, if not properly secured. Their neck muscles alone are stronger than the combined arm strength of 4 adult men. The hunters work in shifts, 2 always maintaining line tension, while others rest briefly. This tug-of-war has been going on for nearly 40 minutes, and I can see fatigue on everyone's faces. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoes across the ice. One of the stakes has shifted, the ice around it splitting from the tremendous pressure. The hunters react instantly, grabbing the loosening line, while another drives a new stake into more solid ice. Ice breaking like promises made after too much caribou stew, Nanook mutters as he secures the new anchor point. I notice they've positioned the sled directly behind one of the main anchor points. If the stake fails completely, the line will catch on the heavy sled, buying precious seconds to establish a new hold. An hour into this exhausting standoff, the walrus's movements are becoming noticeably slower, its breaths coming in labored gasps. The hunters exchange knowing glances. The time is approaching when they must move closer to the still dangerous animal for the final phase of the hunt. Now comes the most dangerous moment, approaching the wounded walrus for the kill shot. Despite being restrained, those tusks can still be deadly. If walrus charges now, Upput jokes, don't need to outrun walrus, just outrun slowest hunter. The lead hunter cautiously approaches. Must hit brain or heart, Nanook explains. I'm shocked to learn that a charging walrus can reach 20 miles per hour on ice faster than any human. The rifle aims. The shot echoes. The walrus goes still. After confirming it's truly dead, Kovic speaks traditional words of thanks to the animal. Hardest part, Aput asks, explaining to Walrus' wife why he's late for dinner. Our work isn't done. Now we must secure this massive catch before it's lost through the ice. With the walrus now still, a new race begins, securing this enormous catch before it's lost. Its massive 4,200-pound body rests on ice that's becoming less stable as blood and body heat melt the surface beneath. We must work fast, Kovic says. Ice melts under warm body, can break through. The hunters snap into action. Two quickly pull coils of rope from their sleds while another readies special bone hooks designed for hauling walrus. These hooks carved from caribou leg bones are incredibly strong, yet won't tear through the walrus hide. Many hunters lose catch here, Nanook explains. Think the hunt is finished when the animal dies. Big mistake. 3 hunters work together to pass ropes beneath the animal's body, creating a secure cradle that will hold it, even if the ice breaks. This requires partially lifting sections of the massive creature. This better than gym membership. Aput grunts as he shoulders under the walrus's flipper. But monthly fee much higher if you make mistake. Rather than trying to move the entire animal at once, they work section by section. First the head and tusks, then the middle body, finally the rear flippers. A fact that surprises me. A walrus this size can take up to 5 hours to fully secure and prepare for transport. The hunters attach multiple lines to different sleds, an old trick ensuring that even if one line breaks, the prize won't be lost. With the ropes secured, we prepare to move the walrus onto more solid ice about 30 yards away. Must pull together, Nanook instructs. Like heartbeat, 1, 2, pull. On his signal, we all strain against the ropes. The walrus barely moves an inch. We try again, making tiny progress each time. Next time I complain about carrying grocery bags, I mutter between pulls. Someone remind me of this moment. Next time, bring more friends, Aput replies with a grin. Slowly, inch by painful inch, we move the walrus onto stable ice. The process takes nearly an hour for just 30 yards. Once safe, the hunters begin the initial butchering process. Nothing will be wasted. The skin, blubber, meat, organs, tusks and bones will all serve important purposes for the community. As night approaches, the hunters finish securing their prize to the sleds. This hunt will feed many families for weeks. Tomorrow brings the challenge of transporting this massive animal across miles of Arctic ice.